Winners and losers from college football playoff week number 1 on the College Kegger on 105.3 The Fan. We do have Johnny Manziel news. Might get to that after winners and losers if we get through this. But let's start right off with it. Tell me if I'm crazy here, if I'm right. Winner, loser, winner. Lane Kiffin gets a $100,000 bonus for Ole Miss winning this game.
I love the report. You're not crazy. That's winning. Getting Jimmy Sexton as your agent is winning. Wish he represented broadcasters or low-level broadcasters. But I love during the game, Charlie Weiss told Lane, no matter if he was allowed or not, Charlie Weiss told us he was going to coordinate this game. He was going to do it, whether Lane allowed him to do it or not for Ole Miss.
I'm sure.
Yeah, because Lane doesn't want that. Lane doesn't want somebody on his staff being able to infiltrate the Ole Miss locker room the way that he kept trying to.
Yeah, and he didn't want the $100,000. Yeah,
it was a genius part of the whole negotiation in his contract. We talked about it when the report came up that it was like he had gotten his agent to negotiate in there that however far they went, because he was getting blocked from coaching there, LSU was going to have to pay that.
Loser. Group of 5 participants in the playoffs. That road's coming to an end. Both games started 34-3. And one of those games, the Power 4 team didn't have its coach. The quarterback got knocked out.
Suckers and losers.
It's coming to, you're playing that against your UNT
right, you
squad.
Are.
It's coming to an end. Why?
Well, it's
the big conferences are going to bully them out.
They are going to bully them out.
Happen.
Eventually they will. They're going to have now. There's going to be an antitrust lawsuit that's going to come around with that, so that might keep them away from it for as long as they have to. But yeah, it's like obviously next year they're going to automatically guarantee the ACC champ a bid, the Big 12, the SEC, and the Big 10. So all those will guarantee a bid. There will be no more guarantee. But what's going to happen is the group of 5 will get their guy still. But eventually, I think it is going to come to an end. They'll just get rid of somehow find a way out of the antitrust.
Going to create a bigger chasm between the top and the bottom. That's all it's doing.
You know who was real quiet was Jake Rietma. He took the opportunity during the boring A&M Miami game to tweet, "Can't have G5 schools in the CFP. The playoffs shall be reserved for these titans of the sport duking it out in a 3-0 thriller with 2 turnovers and 4 missed field goals." What Jake then decided to not do was tweet while the others were getting their ass beat.
Getting their boat.
He must have been on a flight.
Had to be.
Must have been flying
with the kids.
He's all over
playing with the kids. He was playing with the
Yeah.
kids actually while falling asleep. If you see his Instagram,
Winner, Miami, went into arguably the toughest road environment, held an A&M team that scored fewer than 31 points one time at home. They held them to 3. Unbelievable day. Big-time winner is the University of Miami.
Sure, yeah. I mean, they literally won.
Literally.
So they are a winner.
Loser, John Mateer's draft stock. What happened to that? He gets hurt. There was a point this year he was looking at being a first-round draft pick. The injury and his play after that suggest he's better off getting another year of eligibility, sticking around Oklahoma.
I haven't started on quarterbacks. I have no idea if he's hurt himself yet there or what kind of a legit prospect is. I'm always hesitant on any declaration of, well, he was going to be this or he was going to be that, because then there's a lot of it's like Shador, when everybody's like, Shador was always going to be the number 1 pick, Will Chambers. And that's like, no, he was never going to be the number 1 pick. It was always a question of if he'd be a first rounder, and then he went in the 5th or whatever he did.
after the starting with the Red rivalry game, he threw 0 touchdowns, 3 picks, right? Because remember, the first 4 games, we're talking Heisman, even though he had like 6 touchdowns to 3 interceptions, that was throwing. Rushing, he had 5. Then he played Texas, cost me money on that cursed day. 0 touchdowns, 3 picks. 1 touchdown throwing, no picks, 1-0, 0-1, 0-0, then 2-0, 2-3, 2-1 against Alabama. So loser for John Mateer. I would lean towards that.
Okay.
Not that he's a loser, but the draft stock.
Yeah,
draft
and
stock.
just the national conversation around him.
Yep.
Sure. It went from, like you said, Heisman to nothing. Winner! Man, the Ole Miss players made a statement. Maybe they didn't because it's Tulane.
Yeah.
That they coaching wasn't the reason why they were in that position.
Oh, that's an over-exaggeration. Even though they did say during the broadcast, Charlie Weiss called the play. I thought Lane called the plays. And they're like, no, Charlie Weiss actually calling the plays. Just because they beat down Tulane does not mean that Lane Kiffin was not the reason that they got there. Lane Kiffin is the one who is the flashy, sexy name who brings in the kids.
He built it. Yeah, he built it.
It's an overreaction to say, they didn't need Lane. They beat Tulane.
Yeah,
one
I mean,
game.
that's the big tell will be the next game coming up. But yeah,
I can't wait.
I mean, Tulane, I would expect that they were going to win that.
That's going to be a fun one. Winner. That's right. Loser, Indiana. Congratulations, you're the 1 seed. You play Alabama.
No. That's so much more important to them than if they're going to win, they're going to win.
Right.
Like, I mean, we'll find out. But I mean, Bama is not. There's
easily the biggest game in Indiana history. Easily.
Yeah. There's nobody. There's no one.
How about the win over Ohio State? Now I know
that's the biggest victory, but I mean the biggest biggest lead up is this one because everybody was picking Ohio State.
So who would you rather face, Choppy? You got Miami, and then what about the other candidates?
In terms of who Indiana would play?
Yeah. If you're Indiana, you're saying that's messed up. We're getting Bama instead of.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Give me the alternative to sell the point that they got a bad draw.
I would rather play Miami over them. Ole Miss, I don't know. The loss of Kiffin and the change there and all the turmoil that's gone on. I might rather play Ole Miss too.
Overreaction. I don't think Bama's scary or frightening. Give me the spreads on these games real quick. Guess.
Oh, I already know some of them. I know Indiana's -7.
7.
Okay, so Bama, Indiana is -7. Oregon, Texas Tech.
Oregon by 1.5.
Yep, 1.5. Mississippi, Georgia.
I think that's
Georgia
7 too, right?
-7, yeah.
It is 7. And Miami, Ohio State. You sent it to us the other day.
Is that up to 10 now? 9.5, 10?
10.
Yeah, so I mean, no, I don't think Bama again.
The only other argument you would have is, we'd rather face Miami.
Right.
They're a 10 and Bama's a 9.
Bama's not the Bama it would have been 5 years ago.
They were down what?
17-0.
Yeah.
Speaking of Bama, winner, Kalen DeBoer. Now, maybe he's a loser because if he lost, he would have been fired to be the Michigan coach today and reset his clock. But, because if they get beat by Indiana and they get beat badly, let's say it's 34-10, I could see Bama running him out of town.
No, I can't.
You don't think so at this point?
Too late now.
No, no. But he's not getting run out. I would say no, not a loser.
Loser, Johnny Manziel.
Yep.
Can't be no-show College game day. So, obviously, in Miami the night before, so they had the norovirus.
Okay, what is that?
Stomach flu.
How's that different from what Pepe has right now?
Yeah, well, he's calling this, I guess, the stomach flu, which I had a doctor tell me there's no actually such thing as a stomach flu. It's just the name they use for it.
Yeah, it's not literally a flu.
Yeah.
It's just a stomach bug.
Yeah. Johnny's problem is, number one, history. Number two, he was pumping out some vodka on his social media the night before and showing us seats at the Paul fight. If you didn't go if you had IG Live in the hotel room bed, guys, I'm laid up.
Yeah.
I'm not making it to the Paul fight. I'm sick and I won't be able to make it. No one believes it. And why didn't you, again, like Trayvon Diggs, why didn't you just come out and say, I'm sick, instead of, I'll let everyone run with their narratives and I'll update you on the serious matter. I thought a family member had died.
Yeah.
I thought it was something catastrophic. Someone got diagnosed with something. Turns out it's him with the stomach. No, not buying it, loser.
And it shows you what.
But he said that he notified.
That morning.
Yeah, that's like when you wake up hungover, you roll over and you text, guys, I'm sick, I'm not going to make it, I'm throwing up, and then roll back to sleep.
Right. And this also shows what an absolute animal Michael Irvin is, because Michael was at the fight too. And Michael doesn't fly. If anybody knows Michael Irvin, he does not fly private.
Right.
So which means Michael woke his butt up, drove to the Fort Lauderdale airport, took a Spirit flight, or Southwest, or American, got to Houston. I doubt there's a direct flight from Miami to College Station. I'd be stunned. Gets to Houston and then flies, or gets to DFW and then flies back, and still makes an 11 a.m. game.
Yeah. True.
With losing an hour.
True.
Losing an hour. So he really had from 7 a.m. because the first flight's out like 6 a.m. He had basically from 7 a.m. to 11.
It'll never happen. I hope Johnny gets booed the next time he gets introduced and shows up at Kyle Field.
According to Chop, nobody even knows who he is there anymore.
Right, they don't. He's anonymous. Winner, Miami football alumni, Andre Johnson, Michael Irvin. Tremendous job. BTA, Irvin on all fours. Irvin with the trash can.
The belt.
Big. That's the biggest winner of the weekend. Loser, the playoff committee. Got to own this one. Now, you can't do anything about the A&M Miami game, right? Can't do that. Wind happened. Game wasn't great, but it's just bad football.
Didn't have to have Miami in it.
Didn't have to have Miami in it.
Could have had Notre Dame in it.
Yep. But I do also want to avoid these conference rematches in the first round. They try to do this in the NCAA tournament. I already saw Alabama, Oklahoma this year. I don't want to see it again.
Well, what are you going to do? You can't sit there and say they played once. Let's change the seeding.
Manipulate the seeding, baby.
I mean, they manipulated the seeding to get him in there.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Your option was Notre Dame and
what if it's a classic? What if it's a 47-45 regular season classic? Why wouldn't you want to see it again?
Well, this is the college football mind cannot comprehend rematches. That's how we grew up. We grew up no rematches. We already beat you once. Don't need to do it again.
Okay.
And now we're going to see the same thing here. Ole Miss and Georgia. Already saw it. That was a classic. It was like 45-38. It was a great game. Something like that. It was a crazy score. But to me, that's a loss. And another loser is Texas Tech. They get a bye, and they're an underdog, man. They are an underdog to Oregon. Tough draw.
It's a tough draw, but Oregon's also had some moments this year where they don't. This is such
Oregon could have been overseeded.
This is such a watered down field this year, like in general. Because the only team that I felt good about all year was Ohio State, and then they just lost to Indiana. And so I don't know. There's not like
and
really
Ryan Day's taking over the plays.
He's taking over play calling. Now I guess he has to. Because Brian Hartline's going to take the South Florida job, but he's still there. Hartline's still working. He's just splitting time a little bit. So you look at the last 2 years when they've been on their run of success where they win the national title and they were the best team all year, Ryan Day had his hands off. Now he's getting back into play calling. I don't know. Well, that may complicate things for them in the playoff.
There's your winners and losers.